Hi everyone. Today we'll study pointers and references, right? So, what are pointers? Basically, pointers are a variable which holds the memory address of another variable. Memory address is the location of other variable. Means, for example, let's say that there is some variable. For example, int, the variable is c, integer c, right? This c will be stored somewhere in the memory. Now, the address of that memory is called the memory location, or you can say the location of that memory is called the memory address, right? So that memory address will be in the will be in some form of in hexadecimal format. There will be in some format, obviously, because how can a compiler know where this integer c is stored, right? Integer c, I have declared, it means that there must be some memory assigned to the program, right? So that's called the memory address, right? So if pointer is like we are pointing to other variable, right? A pointer is a variable which holds the memory address of other variable. Let's say this is the syntax, this is the syntax, this is the data type, this star, and this is the pointer's name. Now what this, for example, let's take the example, take this example, right? This is a classic example of pointers. There is a variable x, right? And there is int star pointer is equal to and ampersand x. It means that pointer ptr will contains the address of x, right? Say the x is declared in the memory, x is declared in the memory, right? The value is 10. Now there is another variable ptr which contains the address of x, address of x, right? And star ptr is kind of operator or method by which we can access the value of x. So basically what we are doing is, basically ptr is pointing to x. Ptr doesn't contain any value, ptr contains the address of x, and that way if we are accessing via star ptr, we are basically accessing x. So that way if we are manipulating something, now if what I can do is, let's say if I do star ptr is equal to 12, right? Right, so the x will eventually become 12. Why? Because basically we are tampering directly with the memory, right? So that's why the pointers should be treated with caution, because they are directly linked with memory. Any changes made to star ptr, the changes will be made to x, right? The original variable. Now let's analyze this case, right? This tells the compiler three things about ptr, pointer ptr. Obviously this star asterisk tells that the to the compiler that ptr is a pointer variable. Pointers need a memory location, and pointers point to the variable of type in this case. Obviously we can also take this example like, or I can also say, now there is like terminology, what is wild pointer, what is dangling pointer, what is void pointer, whatever it is. You can see all these definitions. The pointer which is not initialized is called wild pointer, because you had no idea what this pointer is pointing to. The pointer whose value is 0 is called null pointer. A void pointer is a special type of pointer that can be pointed to objects of any type. Obviously it can be used to declared using data type void, obviously, right? A void pointer is declared using data type void. Anyway, these are just terminology and not much things are to be worried about them. Anyway, the thumb rule of pointers: type must be same to the variable whose address is going to pass to the pointer. Obviously, it means that int star p should point to the variable of type int only. It cannot be point to the variable of type character. You cannot do that. It's allowed. Why? Because the data types are different, right? When you want to pass the address to the variable, you have to use ampersand before the variable name. We'll talk about it later, don't worry. And when you want to pass the value to the variable of the variable, use star before the pointer. Obviously, we have seen the star p, which means the value. All right. Now we have two pointer variable, the asterisk and the ampersand. All right. Now we have a pointer variable. Yeah, we have seen the syntax. This is the syntax. Now char ptr means the ptr is a pointer which holds the address of other variable of character data type, of course. And this is the address operator, which means that for example, there is a variable x, then and x will be used to pass the address, right? And star ptr, it means that ptr will receive the address of x and star ptr will be used to access the value. Let's see here also. let's see let's see we have a variable x which contains 10, right? And the location is, what location is 12. This is the location. Now we have done this. Now we have another thing, star ptr, which is and x. Let's draw this statement. This statement is nothing but but means that there is a variable ptr of type int, right? This is ptr. Now this ptr will contain and x, which actually means address of x, right? Whatever the address of ptr doesn't matter, right? We can check the address of ptr using and ptr, but whatever the address is, let's say the address is 14, location. Now star ptr what it will do is equal to 10. We don't have to do it, but star ptr will contain the value of x. Value contain at the address of x, or I would say, let me write it more professionally. Star ptr will contain the value at the ptr. And what ptr contains? By default, ptr contains the address. All right, so this is the whole meaning. Let's jump to programming and let's see. Let's say we have a variable x. The variable x is 10. Now we have another variable star ptr which contains the address of x, right? Now let's see what is ptr. Now let's see what is star ptr, or you can say ptr as a pointer. C. The PTR contains the address of X. It is in some hexadecimal format and star PTR is 10. Right? Let's now modify the value of star PTR. Let's see if the value of X is modified or not. C. Initially, the value of PTR contains address and the PTR star PTR is 10. Now we modified star PTR to 12. The X is also 12, but initially the value of X was 10. This is because we are tampering directly with the memory. Star PTR is modifying the value directly at the memory, right? Because star PTR is modifying the value at the address, and since the address of both PTR, since the address of X is assigned to PTR, that's why the star PTR has direct impact on X. I hope you understood, right? That's why. Now I think this concept is understood, right? This is an important concept. The pointers are easy but important. Now let's see call by value and call by reference. Let's make this. Let's comment this. Let's comment this out and let's use a function void sum star a and star b. What it will do is it will print the sum. The sum is yeah. Now let's see if we modify the value of star a, what will happen. Let's say let's call the sum function and pass values, not values, the variables, basically the addresses, right? Let's close this. After that, let's say C. Let's print X and Y. what are we doing? What we are doing is the x is 12, the y is 13, right? We should not input 12, we should input x here, right? Now we are calling the sum and we are passing the addresses of x and y, and this pointer will basically catch the value of x and y just like this, right? Just like int star a is equal to and x, and int star b will have the value of and y. That's the whole meaning. That's the whole meaning, right? If you are able to understand it. Let's see. Initially the value of x was 12 and y is 30 and their sum is 21, 25, right? After that I modified a and b, right? And reassign them to 1 and 2 respectively, and you can see the value of original variable is modified as we saw in the functions when we discussed the functions chapter, functions module, whatever you call it. And that's what that's what we discussed at that time, right? This is x and y. So that's it. Arrow operator. The arrow operator is basically like this operator. The pointer name will point to the variable name to fetch the value of the variable. Now arrow operator, what it does is allows to access the elements in the structures or classes. If you don't know classes, we will discuss that, right? In this course only. You haven't seen the OOPS paradigm, right? So once you'll see, you will understand. So I guess these things are clear. At least this point should be extremely clear. Once you are clear with this, then you should be clear with this also, because int star a is equal to and x. All right. So that's why the modifications are basically done on the same memory, right? So that's it for today. If you have any doubts, then you can ask us, right? Practice as much as you can, because pointers are a little bit tricky, but by practice. So if you have any doubts, you can ask us. Till then, see you.